What's going on, everybody? It's your girl B Octavia, and I am back with another video. Now, as I get ready, you feel what I'm saying, I'm gonna tell y'all a very fresh and true, honest story time of the reason why I'm done co-parenting. So let's start this story time off correctly. If you have never seen my face before, you don't know me, you don't watch my YouTube, things to that nature, I am a mother of a 6, almost 7-year-old. My daughter will be 7 years old coming up in May. Okay? That's a month away. Throughout her 6 years of life, her father has been in and out of prison. And if he wasn't in and out of prison, he was just ripping and running the streets. When she was born, he stayed in my house eating up my damn food. And I had to hurry and get him the fuck up out of there because he wasn't helping me with her. He wasn't helping me in the middle of the night. He wasn't helping me change her Pampers. So that's just some background information, right? So let me tell y'all what happened. My daughter doesn't go with her father that often. If we're talking about in a month span, I would say once a month, perhaps two, but it's never back-to-back weekends. It's always like the first week of the month and then the last week of the month type thing. And that's not nowhere on paper. You know, that it has to be specific days, specific this, that, or this week or that week. That part is not specific. So whenever he says, you know, I want to take the kids and they spend time together this weekend, he has 3 other kids now, but 2 of them are older than my daughter. So my daughter enjoys their company. Of course, she gets in those moods where she's ready to come home, but I make sure that she sticks it through. And not only does she spend time with her brother and sister, and I tell her how important that is, I also tell her how important it is to spend time with her father. She went with him last weekend, and she went on a Saturday. So sometimes she goes on a Friday, but what I noticed is she likes to keep it kind of short, you know, Saturday and then come home Sunday, which is fine by me, right? Especially when you somewhere that you are not all the way comfortable. Like, he doesn't encourage them to change their clothes. I mean, he has an older daughter and she's the oldest, and he doesn't encourage any of them to change their clothes and wash up every day, or, you know, even wash their hands. But I digress on that. The outfit that my child leaves in, she comes back in the same thing. And I still haven't said anything. I didn't say anything. So this last weekend, he got her on Saturday, right? He got her around 2:30 p.m., okay? And I'm not the type that's just gonna keep checking on her throughout the day. I don't want to get on nobody's nerves. I know how kind of annoyed that would make me if I'm ripping and running with all these damn kids and, you know, having to answer these texts or what have you. I spent a few hours doing some content, and then we are at almost 11 o'clock at night. So there is a knock on the door, and I'm not expecting nobody, so I don't get up. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not expecting anybody, no sneaky link or nothing, so I didn't get up, and the person kept knocking. So my mom answered the door, and then a few minutes later, you know, of course, as Bella is walking in, it's Bella. Bella is at the door. So Bella comes up the stairs, and she is very upset. And the first thing that she says is, my daddy got arrested. And I asked her what happened, and she told me that he had her and her siblings over some lady house, some lady she never met before. The young lady has a child of her own, and supposedly this is somebody who he's messing with, right? So she says he left us at her house and he said he was going to go to the store. He left his kids at a woman's house that is in no relation to them so he can go to the store. So as she's explaining to me, she's telling me that her eyes are hurting. So off the rip, I wipe her face off. I check her eyes to make sure it's nothing in her eyes, like debris or something. I make sure that she's okay. I make sure that she calms down and she understands, you know, that the police is just doing their job. That's how I raised my child. Okay, I raised my child to know that the police is not out messing with nobody that don't need to be messed with, or checking on nobody that don't need to be checked on. Okay, they doing their job. So, you know, I calms her down. She ends up eating something and she goes to sleep. With everything that just happened, she's exhausted. I pushed any feeling that I had about it to the back burner, but it was in my mind the whole time, like, how could he just leave them? How could he just leave them? Like, to leave them at somebody's house, it's one thing to leave them at the first baby mother house or the third baby mother. Yeah, he has a whole new baby, right? A whole new baby that's not even 5 months old. And the girl's house that he left all of his kids at, excluding the newborn, of course. The lady house where he left all the kids was not the third baby mama. So now another problem is you are showing not only my child, but you are showing all your children that you have inconsistent relationships. There's no reason why you should be showing off some woman and some kid that's not yours. And you have, that child is about 3 or 4, and you have 4 kids of your own. Like, guys be moving on, and it's not even the fact that you're moving on, it's how fast you doing it. It's like you don't want anybody to have an opinion about that, but you are showing children, small children, all under the age of 12, how you don't respect women. And the minute that a person figures you out, you're on to the next one. But I digress on that as well. So he gets locked up, and apparently he calls the young lady, because she got to be young to be this dumb. So apparently, as he's getting locked up, he asks the cops for one call. He calls the young lady. The young lady, I guess, gets in contact with the first baby mama, and shout out to her for bringing me my child. If it wasn't for her, I don't even know how long it would have took for me to get my child back. Am I going to tell her myself? No, because I don't want no communication with her. She's a op. I let it ride. So this happened on a Saturday, and he got released on a Monday, okay? So the night that he gets out, he gets in contact, and he's able to talk to Bella. And what does he do? He says a whole bunch of nothing. If you get in trouble with the police and you have to explain it to your kids, what you need to say is that mommy or daddy was doing something wrong and I got caught. What he said was, I was riding around messing with people and I was smoking, and that's why they arrested me. I thought you said you was going to the store. But even then, I let their conversation be their conversation. I'm not no asshole and just going to interject and be like, well, da-da-da-da-da. When my daughter is around, I don't like to get into it with the guy. Because when I go there, I'm really going to go there. Conversation done, right? Saturday happens. We wake up on Sunday. And y'all remember I said, my daughter said her eyes was hurting. Well, we woke up on Sunday. One of her eyes was puffy. And it was red. So it caught me off guard because her eyes never got red like that. So her eyes never got red and irritated like that. Like it was to the point where you can see all of the veins and stuff like that, and it was still like the veins was darker than the redness of her whole eyes. So it just like the veins just like you could clearly see them. It looked so irritated. So I was trying to figure out what could be happening because she has allergies, but she never had allergies like that. After she talks to her father on Monday, I asked him, like, I think that wherever you had Bella at while you got arrested, the environment just made her have a flare up because this never happened before. And he was like, oh, I gotta ask Kiera, the first baby mother, where she took them because nothing is wrong with the other two kids. Mind you, they are all three totally separate kids with totally separate allergies. Like, with what happens to one kid will surely not happen to all three of them. Maybe the flu, but not the same type of allergy. It doesn't always happen like that, okay? So I still just let him talk stupid. I still let him talk stupid and make excuses. I wanted to hear what he was going to say. But he basically avoided even being honest about where my daughter was. And he doesn't want to be honest about it because he knows that it's inappropriate in my eyes. I am a very traditional person in a sense where I just feel like there needs to be some type of respect. We can be operate in two different type of households, but what I deem suitable for kids to see and be around is totally different from what he sees suitable for kids to see and be around. He uses his children as novelty items, just dangling them in front of people as if he is really a good father. So he totally avoided even saying anything about them being at a strange woman's house at the time of his arrest on his weekend. I mean, he literally has so many days out of a month to do whatever he wants to do. He has so much time that it frustrates me so much that he doesn't even see it. He has so much time. Even with a newborn, he does not sit still. And when you have your kids, you leave them at a strange woman's house so you can go to the store and then end up getting arrested